This brother duo, both suspects yesterday, spent his early childhood in the Russian Caucasus region near Chechnya, came to the United States 10 years ago. And this next fact is something that didn't receive a lot of traction today. He became a naturalized citizen on September 11th of 2012. He was currently enrolled at the University UMass Dartmouth. He was a wrestler growing up in school in Cambridge. Cannot tell you how many witnesses told journalists today, kind, approachable, great kid, something must have gone wrong. This was a huge disconnect. One of his friends at one point on live television pleaded to him through the cameras, give yourself up. No one knew what went wrong. Of course, we've now learned a lot more about his older brother, the influence of a 6-month trip overseas, father living overseas. The mother contacted today, said this was an FBI plot. In her words, he hasn't done anything in his computer that the FBI hasn't been watching. Speaking of the younger brother, the older brother was a boxer. His boxing coach told me today he could walk 50 yards using just his hands. When he had boxing gloves on, he was fond of walking around the boxing ring upside down using his hands. Something of a physical specimen, did very well in the regional New England Golden Gloves competition. Both of these kids say for fairly slight accents, presented as American kids. There you have him on the left, and he worked hard to be a boxer. Something left them disaffected and militant. And at the end of the day, the video the FBI has that they have not released to the public, the imagery they have shows the placement of the device. A lot of people have come forward with images showing the younger brother walking rather calmly away from the scene of the bombing. That's something you never want to see. Two things happen after an event like this. People run toward it to help. People run away from them in fear. Very seldom do you see someone walking calmly away. And it all came together, the evidence did. Kerry Sanders, we keep looking at these pictures for something other than open trunk lids, a little bit more sign of an activity. Of course, remember, you've got evidence and DNA teams that need to get in there if this thing is indeed resolved, complicated by the after effects of a fire, if those reports are true.
Yes, let's talk about what a SWAT team would be doing right now. Traditionally, if they're following the blueprint, and I imagine at this point they are putting themselves in positions where not only are they spreading around in a semicircle of the area, but they're also putting officers at different levels, some higher and some lower, sort of giving some people some altitude. They, of course, have spotters. They're all on a communication system here that allows them to talk to each other so that they can, without even really getting too many sort of confusing conversations. And the reason I point that is there are so many different SWAT teams here from various different agencies, and one of the things we learned after 9/11 is communication was a big failure. A lot of money has been spent in this country to streamline radio systems for various different agencies so they can talk to each other. And then you have, on the other side, of course, a need to put some officers and to sight in so that they can see the other side of the coast, because you don't want to just have the one semicircle. You need a full 360-degree view of what's going on. And then, of course, the helicopter overhead. So that is no reason to rush things, because they know where he is. They know that they have the upper hand, and so that is sort of the layout of the blueprint of what they're doing right now.
Yeah, Kerry, the equipment you and I have seen overseas in war zones, and people who saw Zero Dark 30, you know, these teams can speak at a whisper using the mics that come around to their mouths. All of them up on the net of their choosing. They can speak locally. They can speak to other jurisdictions. And you're right. You can go into any municipal firehouse in the middle of nowhere in an urban area walk in and say, show me your 911 truck. And most jurisdictions have it. It's a piece of equipment they weren't necessarily asking for.